Yo, what's up? Welcome back. I started my late streak is continuing. Nonetheless, welcome back. This is the 5FI Racing.com channel here on Twitch or YouTube. That's 5 the number 5 FI Racing.com. Hopefully the Spotify audio isn't too bad. Hopefully my mic volume is better. I noticed I was a little too yelling in your ear type of loud last race. Regardless though, this is our beautiful website. You have SimGrid, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit. Go ahead and click on any of them. The one that we will be focusing on right now is SimGrid. If you'd like to join us for today's season race, well, not for today, but for the next time around, you'll hit season 6. You'll hit register on the top right. Here you'll select your class. I'm in a gold, but you can be in a silver. Currently, there's one spot left for gold, so if you want to get in on the action, it's now or never. Select your car, whatever you want, your number, your team, all the invites that you want, agree, or reminders that you want, agree, and then register. I am not going to register. But what we do want to know are the rules. So we have LFM BOP in use, and they're updated every round. Yellow flags, obey the yellow flags. Don't be dumb. In which case, if you are dumb, you'll get penalties. And if you do not serve your penalty, for whatever reason in the race, then we have a penalty continuation system where you will serve your penalty the next race. There is no getting out of it. Code of conduct, dive bomb with respect. Don't dive bomb with negligence. If you don't go for a gap, are you really a racing driver? But go for a gap respectfully and responsibly. Which leads us to our incident reporting. If you are involved in a dive bomb incident or something happened, feel free to report and someone will get on and check it out. Today we have a special thing. We have live stewarding that I'll go into in a little bit. Anyway, the results. Not for Bathurst, for Imola. There we go. And race 1. There we go. So we have a total of 8 drivers. We have Alber Tranchisi in the tippy top. Why am I in results? I'm supposed to be in standings. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We have a total of 9 drivers in the standing. Albert is still at the tippy top with 94 points. He's overall won race 1 both times, or won a race 2 both times. Today is race 3. We have a dual sprint again in Watkins Glen. Will he be able to come up with another 2 wins and make it 6 in a row? We will find out. Daniel Hirsch is going to try his best to stop that from happening. He's currently at 73.5 points. He's been pretty much hitting P2 this whole season, so will he get P1 today? We'll find out. Joshua Worley, he's right under Daniel Hirsch. He's at 66 points. Kyle Hirsch, right behind Joshua Worley. He has 60 points. 60.5 points. He's in 4th place. Zach Manriquez, he's in 5th place with 57 points. Victor Sabo, he's in 6th place with 48 points. Kyle Busch, 7th place, 21 points. Sam Staples is 8th place with 13.5 points. And Jake Wells hasn't erased, but will he race today? We'll find out. He has 0 points currently. That's a gold split. In silvers, we are going to cap it. At 14, and that's the bottom of the list that we can see here. We have Alber. I need to figure out his pronunciation. He is in first place with 75 points, but he is also tied for P1 with Chris Unfair, who also has 75 points. So the battle for P1 is on. Currently have a tie. P3 is Jeff Kelly, but he is so close to the battle for P1. It's a three-way battle, essentially. He has 73 points. Alexander Sabo, he has 66.5 points. He's basically up in there. It's a four-way battle. Interesting to know and see what's actually going to happen in Watkins today. Greg Landry, he's in 5th place with 49 points. Anthony Muno, 44.5, 6th place. Jacob Meyer, 7th place, 35 points. Justin Fry, 8th place, 33 points. Will Stewart is disqualified, and we will... I guess we can talk about it now. He dropped out, and he is our live steward now. Surprise, surprise. So ignore that. I guess that would move Brad into 9th place, but we're just gonna keep the list going as how it is now. Brad Tarno, he's in 10th place, 25.5 points. Anthony Lombardo, 11th place, 20 points. Kevin Barfield says disqualified. I'm not too sure if that's a typo or something happened. Regardless, he's in 12th place with 17 points. Jonathan Kelly should be joining us today, so it's going to be interesting to see if he fights and how he fights, if he comes back for blood like he said last stream. 13th place, 16 points. And Alan Aravalo, he's in 14th place with 8.5 points. There's so much information. We're just going to go the top 3 in teams for the gold and or top 4 for gold and silver. We have Trinkizi Designs race team. Give me a sec to open all these up so you can actually see. I'll open up the rest. Trinkizi Designs race team, they're in first place. This is by Joshua Worley and Albert Trinkizi. They're leading with 160 points. Sector Brown with Daniel Hirsch and Kyle Hirsch, they have 134 points. 2nd place. 3rd place, we have Iron Lame Racing with only Zach Manriquez. He has 57 points. And coming for Zach in Iron Lane Racing, we have Sabo Motorsports with Victor Sabo. He has 48 points. Those are the gold splits. We move over to silver. Same situation here. We're going to expand the list so you can see who is in what team. In first place, we have Fry Racing. They're at 99.5 points. This is by Alexander Sabo and Justin Fry. Team JK Motorsports. This is Jeff Kelly and Jonathan Kelly. They're in P2. They are coming for P1. They have 89 points. They're fairly close. Definitely going to be fighting their way through that. Then we have 5 FI Racing, the Nacho Apex. This is... Give me a sec. I know there's more than one. Isn't... Kyle Busch is here. That's right. Okay, so we hit the gold split. Okay, so Kyle Busch is in the gold split. Chris Unfair is in the silver split. Okay. Good to know. Good to keep in my mind. Chris Unfair, he's in 3rd place. He's in Nacho Apex. His other teammate is in the gold split. That is Kyle Busch. He's in the gold split. Our list in silvers. Chris Unfair is holding his own. with 75 points. And in 4th place, coming for Chris Unfair, is the Mega Thrusters with Anthony Muno and Alan Aravalo. 53 points. That name. That name. Give me a moment, I will transition to the race recap. Hopefully that is viewable. I don't know if the sound is actually coming through. Sounds like it's not. Weirdly. Regardless, in the beginning, we had a battle between Alber Tranquilli, excuse me, and Daniel Hirsch. Daniel, as you'll see here, gets the inside line. Albert taps him in the back, and they're on their way. They're pretty much pulling away, or starting to pull away very early, away from the rest of the pack, which was pretty interesting, pretty fun to see. In the beginning, we had Daniel Hirsch actually dominating and holding Albert Tranquilli back. It was cool to see, and it was also cool to see when he, or how long he would last. We had a bit of a racing incident, as you'll see here. We are following Will Stewart, who got into a bit of trouble. Kyle Hirsch tapped him in the back, and he just got stuck in a situation where he just couldn't get out of, and ended up teleporting to the back, or back to the pits. Another sticky situation and a near miss, if you might say. Excellent driving by Albert to avoid that accident. Look how he went off-road. Look how close he was to actually getting involved with Daniel Hirsch there. He was going to get to know him in an intimate level if he didn't swerve. Look how close that was. How he managed to keep control and not avoid the wall is beyond me. 100% the sand in the outside helped. So what ended up happening is he ended up clipping the grass on the right just a tad bit. And that's another view of how close that was. We have another little slow-mo view that I'll go ahead and pause so you can actually see how close. So as you'll see here, he touches the grass a little bit as he's on the brakes. Not the ideal thing to do. He ends up coming in way too hot, losing control. And look how close this is. This is astonishing that he was, and he did not hit him. He was still able to keep control. You'll see Joshua Worley in the back, probably mesmerized by how close that was, but an accident was supposed to happen there. Thankfully, nothing occurred. 100% Alber had a little Code Brown incident right there. In lap 3, we have Albert Gania and Jeff Kelly going at it. Albert Gania in the back, Jeff Kelly on the inside, Albert G on the outside. Actually has the speed to remain side by side with Jeff Kelly. Both of these drivers coming out of turn 7, turn 8, this little kink right here. They are side by side. Jeff Kelly decides to back out, lets Albert through. A very good overtake by Albert G right there. Lap 5, we have Daniel Hirsch and Albert Tranquilli. This is where Albert made his move happen. He got the inside, managed to slow down the car just enough to take the curbs and prevent Daniel from getting around him. That was a brilliant move by Albert Tranquilli. Top tier driving. Who will stop this man? And did we ever get around to checking what's under his hood? In lap 7, we had Anthony Muno and Brad Tarno. Anthony Muno having a little bit of a little mistake there, but nothing too bad. He just lost the position just a tad bit. Brad able to overtake, take the ideal racing line. Anthony Muno couldn't do anything about that at that current moment. Brilliant overtake by Brad Tarno, seizing the opportunity to get around him. It smells like a champion. Do you smell it? It's Joshua Worley. Him and Kyle Hirsch, they were going at it, and this is a little bit of a special replay, as we'll get to see a good portion of their lap. And how close these two were, how big of a dogfight these two were actually having. As you'll see there, Joshua Worley a little took the bump a little too aggressively, upset the balance of the car. Kyle Hirsch right behind him, eager to get on the attack. Both drivers sticking to their lines. Joshua Worley trying to ignore Kyle Hirsch as best as possible. Try to get some distance between them. Not able to pull away, unfortunately, using the Beamer power to pull away because he has a slipstream. The Mercedes has a slipstream. Into turn 2, both these drivers go still side by side. And as you'll see here, Joshua Worley goes a little bit too wide. Kyle Hirsch takes the better line, the more ideal line, and actually gets to be in front of him on the inside. Joshua Worley forced to remain behind. Kyle Hirsch though has a mistake there, goes a little bit too wide, hits the grass. Again, Joshua Worley goes too wide. Kyle Hirsch has a slip up there. Both these drivers are dogfighting it out at this current moment, fighting for position, not giving an inch. Currently, Joshua Worley is behind, but as you'll see here, Kyle Hirsch goes too wide. Joshua Worley sticks it on the inside. A very good fighting by both of these drivers. Good overtaking opportunity that was completed and done by Kyle Hirsch. We love to see it. Love to see battles like these every day, all day. Will they have another battle today? Who knows? Tune in to find out. In that same lap, we had, I believe this is Jacob Meyer and Alexander Sabo? I could be wrong. Regardless though, these two were having a dogfight of their own. It was very fun to see both of these two drivers fight it out. Jacob Meyer isn't behind. He is behind, but he's keeping a fairly consistent pace and putting a lot of pressure on the driver in front, forcing him to not make many mistakes. In lap 9, we had Anthony Lombardo and Victor Sabo. Anthony Lombardo in the blacked out Porsche. So you might be wondering, where did this overtake actually happen? Well, right there. Yes, Anthony Lombardo has some sort of loss of control. He just couldn't get the car turned and ended up going off-road. In the next couple of laps, we had a battle between Jeff Kelly and Chris Unfair. Jeff Kelly on the outside. Chris Unfair almost sticks it on the inside. Gets his nose just a tad bit in, but not far enough to make the move happen or get a position in. Nonetheless, these two drivers, just like in previous races, they were fighting it out, and they were fighting it out for a good portion of this lap. In lap 15, Anthony Lombardo and Victor Sabo had a little bit of Anthony Lombardo had a little bit of an issue there. Victor Sabo easily comes in, gets the inside, and makes the move happen. Unfortunate for Anthony Lombardo there. But brilliant move for Victor Sabo, seizing the opportunity to get by. Very nicely done. Lap 17, Jacob Meyer and Justin Fry. As you'll see in the very top corner of your screen, Justin Fry went a little bit too wide, and Jacob Meyer was allowed or able to pass him. He brilliantly used that opportunity to get by him. Nicely done. Very nicely done. And the battle between both of these two drivers continues, which was very fun to see. And your race 1 winner, Albert Tranchisi, coming up to left track. Almost has a little bit of incident there. Regardless, very nicely done by Albert here. Pretty much after he passed Daniel Hirsch, was able to just take off like a rocket, use the clean air to create some distance. So give me a moment, because I accidentally selected the wrong clip for race 2. Imola. Here we go. Race 2. Pretty much looking identical to race 1. The two drivers in front, Albert Tranchisi and Daniel Hirsch, they're pretty much taking off, as you'll see there. They were a different animal. We might have to cut this a tad bit short if, looking at the screen correctly, Quali might have just, or is getting close to finishing. Give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to get my bearings in. While that happened, another incident that took place here towards the beginning of the lap is another battle between guess who, Chris Unfair and Jeff Kelly. These two going at it once again. This time though, Jeff Kelly sticks it on the inside and holds on to that line, forces Chris Unfair to get behind. A conga line is starting to form right behind them, because Chris Unfair almost loses control there. Hits the bumps a tad bit too aggressively, but regardless remains right behind Jeff Kelly, trying to get that position back. As he goes just a tad bit wide, he's going to have to start defending against the driver from behind, who's approaching and trying to get involved into the tussle up in the front. Good move by Jeff Kelly though. Brilliantly done. In lap 3, we had Alexander Sabo overtake Chris Unfair. As you see there, Chris Unfair overcooked that corner. That was corner number 2. Just a tad bit. He ends up taking the inside line. Chris forced to remain on the outside. Nonetheless, both these drivers remaining side by side, which side by side into the difficult sets of corners. Chris Unfair, unfortunately, loses out on this. And oh my, I am blanking out. Who is the driver behind? Greg Landry. He almost makes an appearance and also overtakes Chris Unfair. Chris, fortunately though, able to see it coming and prevents that from happening. So good move on Chris to stop the bleeding. Excellent move on Alexander though to make that move stick. Very nicely done. Next couple laps, these two are at it once again. Unfortunately though, Chris Unfair touches the grass just a tad bit too much and parks it in a spot where he shouldn't be. Starts moving to get out of the way and ends up getting in contact with Anthony Lombardo. And some more drivers end up passing in. Unfortunate for Chris Unfair. In lap 5, we had Sam Staples and Will Stewart. Will sticking it on the inside of turn 2, but he overcooks it, unfortunately. Sam able to reclaim the position. Good move, or good attempt by Will Stewart. Excellent driving by Sam Staples to just stay cool, calm, and collected and come out on top in that exchange. Lap 6, we had Anthony Muno and Justin Fry going at it. Anthony Muno being the driver behind Justin Fry in the, I want to say Beamer, but for whatever reason, the Beamer looks like a Lexus every once in a while to me. I have no idea why. Regardless, Anthony Muno able to make the overtaking opportunity happen right there as Justin Fry went a little bit too wide and slowing down just enough for Anthony Muno to blow by him. In lap 7 though, Justin Fry coming back for revenge, wants that position back from Anthony Muno. Anthony Muno goes way too wide, overcooks corner number 2. And Justin Fry able to claim that position once again, almost like if nothing happened. These two exchanging, or going back and forth, exchanging positions, battling it out for a good majority of the race. And we continue, as you'll see there, Anthony Muno trying to make moves happen, manages to get side by side next to Justin Fry. He's on the inside. Makes the move stick, doesn't get a track warning or a track cut violation, which is nice to see. Makes the move happen cleanly and legally. Justin Fry though doing everything he can to not let that happen. Or to reclaim the position. Anthony Lombardo here, he has a bit of a tussle with Brad, who's right behind him. Anthony Lombardo, as you'll see right here, gets a good move. Or gets a good drive, but not so great of a drive out of this corner here. Got my replays mixed up here. A little bit of a contact was made, and an unfortunate exchange where Anthony Lombardo lost out. Brad ended up clipping him just a tad bit. We're gonna pull up a replay of this just so you can see a better view. Nonetheless, it looked like Anthony Lombardo didn't get too badly damaged in that exchange. So this is the replay of this incident. And right here, he just manages to touch him in the rear. Brad able to just run away. Anthony Lombardo stuck in the dirt after that exchange. Greg Landry and Will Stewart. And you see, Will is behind, and you're wondering what exactly happened and how did Will pass him? Well, Greg Landry had an insane drift right there, a little slide, where Will Stewart was able to get right by him. Sam Staples eagerly waiting for his opportunity to pass Greg Landry now. And he does get it, as Greg doesn't get the greatest of exits, as you'll see there. Unfortunate for Greg Landry. Lap 9, Albert G and Zach Manriquez, and these two were fighting it out. Zach goes for what appeared to be a late dive bomb, or just probably missed his braking marker. Ended up clipping Alber just a tad bit, but respecting the rules and the will to fight, he gives the position back, as he did not want to claim that position off that move. Good attempt by Zach. Here though, we had Will having a Code Brown incident, a Code Brown moment. He ends up letting both Sam Staples and Greg Landry through after that move. After he drifted pretty extreme and almost sent his car flying into the stratosphere. In lap 10, Anthony Muno And Justin Fry, Muno on the outside, Justin Fry on the inside. Justin Fry doesn't get the greatest of exit, and Anthony Muno does. These two continue to be fighting it out throughout the whole race. Anthony Lombardo, though, he's trying to get involved in this exchange. He's right behind Justin Fry now. And you'll see here, both drivers end up going wide. Anthony Lombardo eventually makes it past Justin Fry and secures that position. In lap 12, the two guys up top both went wide, and Greg uses this opportunity to get by at least Sam Staples, and he's trying to make moves happen on the driver in front. In the same lap, we had Will Stewart getting into a tussle with Sam Staples. Will having an amazing exit out of there. Sticks it on the inside, brakes very hard. Both drivers. How did they not manage to hit each other is beyond me. Those are very tight sections. Will, regardless, makes the move happen. Sam Staples lucks out on this exchange, ends up going right behind Will. A good move on Will. So, if you're following on IG, you've seen this crash of the week. Sam Staples just wipes out. Pretty extreme. Just loses control of the car. Came in too hot. Took a stab on the brakes and just lost it and washed out. Ended up hitting Will Stewart, who was in front. An unfortunate exchange. Will pretty much ended the race, or ended his racing at that point, right then and there, unfortunately. In lap 14, we had Alexander Sabo and Greg Landry continuing to battle it out. Greg Landry able to make the overtaking opportunity happen there after Alexander Sabo went just a tad bit too wide and touched some dirt. Lost too much speed. In the same lap, lap 14, Kyle Hirsch and Brad Tarno, they had an exchange here where Brad goes very, very wide, but to be honest, as you'll see there, Kyle Hirsch, he took the ideal racing line towards the middle or towards the center of that. I'm pretty sure if Brad remained right next to him, a collision was going to happen. Regardless, a good overtaking opportunity by Kyle Hirsch. Lap 17, Zach Enriquez and Albert Gania keep battling it out up the top. I think this was a battle for P4. Albert G unfortunately touches the grass, loses way too much speed, and Zach able to just overtake him very quickly just before the sets of chicanes. Very, very nicely done by Zach to seize that opportunity and get in front of him. In the same lap, Alexander Sabo and Greg Landry had an exchange where Greg Landry goes just a tad bit too wide. Alexander Sabo almost misses that corner. Regardless, though, he's able to complete the overtake. Greg Landry, though, right behind him, side by side. Very good driving by both these drivers as they keep battling it out. And lap 18, your race winner. The one, the only, Alber Tranchese. He is 4 for 4 in Season 6. Once again, I have $1 up for whoever can beat him cleanly. No dirty move, just beat him in a good, hard racing. $1 is on the line. Transition to the oh, there we go. So this is interesting. We have a new driver here, Jake Wells, currently in P1. We missed quali 1, but don't worry, we'll watch quali 2 after this race. Anyway, P1, Jake Wells, welcome. Will you be able to end Albert's winning streak? We will find out. He's currently sitting in P2. Ross O'Connor, another new driver, P3. Welcome, welcome. Albert G, P4. Jeff, damn it, his camera. Well, Jeff Kelly is right there in the Mustang, in the orange and teal colored Mustang. He's P5. Chris Unfair is P6. These two have been going at it this whole season. I wonder exactly if they're gonna battle it out again. And Jonathan Kelly right behind them. He's in P7. Joshua Worley, he's in P8. Zach Manriquez, P9. Kyle Hirsch, P10. Alexander Sabo, he has an 11. Greg Landry, 12. Daniel Hirsch is in 13. Anthony Muno, 14. Brad Tarno, 15. Anthony Lombardo, 16. Alberto Santiago, 17, a new driver. Victor Sabo, 18. Justin Fry, 19. And Alan Arvalo, 20. We have a sizable grid today. And hopefully I have Discord audio on, and we have a special guest. No, we don't. Regardless, though, we have the green light on. Jake Wells able to stay in P1 as Albert goes just a tad bit too wide. We have a couple of potential incidents happening here as Albert is getting stuck smashing. Oh, smack dab in the middle, and Chris Unfair and Albert come together in a collision. Chris Unfair having an unfortunate incident where he crashes out. Zach forced to go on the outside. Chris Unfair having a serious damage done to his car. So far, the rest of the grid is fine. That's gotta hurt for Chris Unfair. As Kyle Hirsch is so close to Joshua Worley, as they're both hard on the brakes. Screen stuttering issues. There are way too many battles to keep track of. I have no idea who to turn into, as Jonathan Kelly just barely touches that wall, just a tad bit, as we see the rest of the drivers going down the grid to the start finish line. Justin Fry trying to make moves happen. Chris Unfair currently in P17. Since this is a dual sprint, he is allowed to come in for repairs if he so chooses. Pit stops are not required. Regardless, though, you cannot refuel. Refueling is not allowed, not permittable. As one of our drivers is way out. What happened to Brad Tarno? Give me one moment and I will quickly set up the replay. The replay has been initiated. What happened to Brad? We're currently viewing the replay. He's on the inside. he just either gets clipped and loses it. Regardless, though, he smashes very hard into the wall and recovers very well. Quite surprised as who is that ended up going to the wall again. How's his steering wheel? That's all. Sit in the driver's seat. I just noticed there is no audio, like car audio. When we were listening to music. Jake will I'll try here on Twitch. Go for it, dude. Hopefully the audio is good. As Jeff Kelly is right behind, and not Daniel Hirsch. Who would he be? Alexander Sabo. I thought an incident was about to happen into coming into into the chicane as Zach Manriquez parks it in a safe location. Thankfully, he ends up just washing out. Now able to rejoin the track safely. Unfortunate for Zach. As well, check out some other drivers. Alberto Santiago is currently defending against Justin Fry, who looked like he was trying to make moves happen there. Alberto in the BMW, the M4. Both drivers in the BMW. Right behind them is Brad Tarno in the McLaren. As we hop into the Jonathan Kelly, who will have the slipstream. I'm not quite sure if he'll have the chance to get side by side if he so chooses into the inner loop, into the bus stop. He doesn't have the speed. But will anyone make a mistake is the real question. The bus stop claiming victims left and right. As currently everyone is taking it safer, nice and easy. As Jonathan Kelly murders Kyle Hirsch, ends up tapping him just a tad bit in the rear. Makes Kyle Hirsch go into the wall. Oh, he is badly damaged as he's carrying around a sign. Still carrying around a sign. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that's going to affect your arrow a lot. He did crowd strike it, I guess. Sir, you might wanna... There you go! Had to use the old bumps there to shake it off. He might end up pitting here. It looks like his car is too badly damaged to potentially continue. Will he pit? He does end up going to the pits. Ladies and gentlemen, he might have also got a track. As these two get a go at it, Christopher makes the move happen against Anthony Muno. Sticks it in. Christopher moving up. He's in P11 after that unfortunate start in the beginning. He's climbing his way back up, but as I was saying, Kyle Hirsch might have got a stop and go because it looked like he entered the pits. a little too quickly. Got a little Beamer on Mercedes action. Beamer going a little bit too off-road. Nonetheless, he's remaining right behind Victor Savo. The guy in the BMW is Alberto Santiago. Doing his best to try to claim P13. Brad Tarno doing his best to try to get involved into this potential battle for P13. As we'll let this battle, these battles simmer down as Alan Arvalo makes it through Justin Fry. Anthony Lombardo forced to slow down just a tad bit as he has a white flag under him, and Zach Manriquez is right behind him trying to make moves happen, trying to climb back up the ranks. Alan starting to run away while the infighting right behind him is allowing him to get away. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. These two are entering the bus stop. I thought they would enter side by side. Victor Sabo changed his mind and said this is the worst idea. It's not worth actually executing at this current time. The rest of the grid makes it through smoothly, except Alan, who almost ate it. And due to him almost eating it, he is now forced to defend against a train of cars right behind him. As Zach Manriquez tried to take it on the outside, and not the greatest of corners to make it happen, but he amazingly is still, was still side by side. Justin Fry just decided to let him through, and Anthony Lombardo followed Zach to claim to move up in the ranks. As we have an incident happening with had an incident happen with Jeff Kelly. He is banged up, a little bit worse for the wear. I wonder what exactly happened. As Brad is trying to make moves happen on Victor Sabo, he's currently on the inside. Victor Sabo on the outside. Brilliant move to make that happen, make it stick. Unfortunately, though, Victor Sabo is going to have all the slipstream for the S's and the back straight. Will he try to make moves happen on the bus stop on the inner loop? It's looking like it might be a thing. Oh no, he decides against it. He breaks early. Lets Brad through. Lives to fight another day. As Chris Unfair is looking to get into a battle with Greg Landry, he is very quickly climbing the ranks. Moving on up. Daniel Hirsch also trying to make moves happen on on Alexander Sabo. I believe he just made the move happen on Alexander Sabo. Sabo currently sitting in P8, Daniel in P7. Alan very quickly moves out of the way, prevents a collision from occurring between him and Zach. Those cat-like reflexes coming in. Good crash avoidance by Alan. Zach probably going to be feeling the pressure very, very soon, and it looks like Alan is starting to get into his groove. as he's getting faster and faster. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the rest of the race and starting race 2. While we let a bunch of the well, we were going to let a bunch of these battles simmer. Alberto Santiago is trying to make moves happen on Anthony Muno. He is less than 1/10 behind him. Will he try to make moves happen into the bus stop? He does. These two are side by side, hard on the brakes, and both drivers end up losing out on that exchange. Alberto Santiago losing more on that exchange as he couldn't control the car. After that first extreme bump, Anthony Muno just lost one position against Brad Tarno. Chris Unfair is trying to make moves happen. Still trying to make moves happen on Greg Landry though. Greg for sure feeling the heat as Chris Unfair is on him, trying to climb the ranks, get up to I believe he was in P7 when he started. It might have been P6. As we're forced to switch back and forth between multiple drivers as multiple battles are going on at the same time or happening concurrently. Alberto Santiago trying to make moves happen on Zach Manriquez. Now Santiago is slightly slowing down. Chris Unfair having a yellow flag. In turn 1. Yeah, substantial amount of damage. Let's find out what happened here. Going to be checking out the replay. Here we go. Oh, he's right behind Albert. Albert? Is that Albert? Somebody. Oh, he didn't touch the wall too hard, but damage was done. That was caused by mounting the curbs aggressively or improperly in turn 1. So we're now back onto the live view. Brad Tarno in front trying to defend against Anthony Muno. A whole train of drivers behind Brad Tarno. Greg Landry, a cool roughly 7 seconds of, no, 13 seconds ahead of this group of drivers. As Anthony goes a bit wide, as was Chris Unfair. Zach Manriquez allowed to go through. Brad doing an excellent job to control the pace, make the battles come to him, and having the other drivers fight it out while he tries to walk away, to get away from the mayhem happening behind him. As Zach is trying to make moves happen, he's going to have the inside of turn 1. Santiago is going to have the inside of turn 1 as well. Santiago holds on and claims that position. Victor Sabo forced to stay behind Santiago. Zach Manriquez also holds on and claims that position. Anthony Muno forced to get behind him. Both great moves by both these drivers. Now, will anything happen into the bus stop? I hope not. All drivers make it through nice and easy. As we'll jump to the top and check out what our leader is doing, Jake Wells. Currently sitting in P1. He wants his dollar. He set up a blazing fast lap. His current best is a 144.282. Albert Tranchizi's personal best is a 145.055. So still very quick, very fast. He's slowly losing out on P1 though, as Jake Wells is looking to secure and looking to end the dominating streak of Alber Tranchisi. Speaking of which, is right here in P2, Ross O'Connor not too far behind Albert Tranchisi. He's forcing Albert to he's keeping him honest. Not letting Albert make too many mistakes or else O'Connor is gonna get very close and going to let his presence be known. There's a potential battle brewing here. No way are we going 3 in. Alan playing chicken and forcing the other drivers to slow down as he was on the inside heading into the bus stop. Victor Sabo losing out on this exchange, losing 2 positions. Justin Fry having a yellow flag. Had a yellow flag. Seems to be fine at this current moment. Zach Manriquez getting into another fight, this time with Brad Tarno. Brad on the outside of turn 8, labeled the heel. Zach Manriquez makes the move stick. Brad loses out on this exchange. Currently sitting in P11. Zach sitting in P10 now. Looking like he's getting faster, faster, and faster as he's very quickly pulling away from Brad Tarno. As Santiago is losing ground. Is that Kyle Hirsch? It is Kyle Hirsch. Why is he? Oh, Kyle Hirsch got out of the pits. Uh, he's blue flagged, but oh my, did he? He did. The streamer's curse comes alive once again. Unfortunately. I was gonna say that I was wondering why he was so down on the list, but what happened to Brad now? Where is he? He's in shoot, turn 6. We'll go back and check out the replay. Give me a few moments while this boots up. Here we go. He's hard on the brakes here. He just ends up losing it. Too hard on the brakes mid-turn. Unfortunate for Brad, as he loses several positions. He was doing very, very good. As we're now back into the live view. He might have too much damage. Yeah, he's going to be forced to pit. If you pay special attention to his steering wheel, that is not how you're supposed to be pointing the wheel when you're driving straight. That's just unfortunate. What's not unfortunate is this potential battle heating up between Albert Guinea and Joshua Worley. Worley trying to get very, very close to Guinea over here. Why that Lexus reminds me of a BMW every so often, I don't know. I don't see the resemblance besides, like, I guess, body structure. The fronts, I guess, look similar, not in terms of what's the word? Of design, but just overall shape. I think that's why I confused it in the beginning, as our lead driver is having an issue of some sorts. He does have a his front is slightly damaged. But nothing too more for the wear. He had a yellow flag, but by the time we tuned in, he was already on his way and moving. Allen, though, is making moves happen on Anthony Muno. He makes the move stick coming out of the final turn and into turn 1 of the 90. Nicely done for Aravalo here. Currently sitting in P11. He is moving on up very quickly. And we love to see that. The real question is, how long can he hold out before Anthony Muno gets close? One thing that I do remember about Alan Arvalo is, between us, he is the slightly faster driver, as Albert Guinea loses out on Joshua Worley. Worley able to make the move happen just before the 90. Guinea might have an overtaking opportunity here, though, coming into the back straight. He's 2/10 off Joshua Worley. Will he go side by side into the bus stop? He does not. It's high risk, little reward at this current moment. The battle for P4 is still raging on, though. It's still going to be hitting its boiling point very, very soon. As I was saying, though, as the two drivers behind Allen and Anthony Muno, Santiago and Sabo, Victor Sabo, slightly clipped the wall. Brad Tarno exiting the pits. Has a blue flag under his name. Let's see two drivers battle it out, go up ahead. Alan Arvalo, between me and him, I do remember Alan was ever so slightly faster than me in terms of overall pace. However, the overall deciding factor was I was just a tad bit more consistent in keeping the lap times similar. This was pre steering wheel issues. Now that is no longer an issue. He has a new steering wheel. So it's fun to see him out on the field duking it out. As Ross O'Connor is starting to make moves happen against Alber Tranchisi. He's getting very, very close. Has the gap down to a second. Alber Tranchisi also lowered his gap between him and Jake Wells amazingly. As you'll see, he's in the background. Jake Wells currently passing. I believe this is Chris Unfair. No, not Chris Unfair. Al Hirsch? Regardless, if you see behind Kyle Hirsch, well, I believe it's Kyle Hirsch, Albert Tranchisi and Ross O'Connor are right there in front. Albert can see P1 right in front of him. How close can he get, though, with Ross O'Connor breathing down his neck. Jonathan Kelly makes made moves happen against Joshua Worley. Joshua Worley, keeping cool, calm, and collected, ends up reclaiming his position. Does have a substantial amount of damage though. Jonathan Kelly should be able to get around him fairly easily. Probably during the back straight because of that. His top end is going to Joshua Worley's top end is going to suffer because of that. He has too much aero damage. Alberto Santiago trying to make moves happen on Victor Sabo. So far, keeping him honest, not letting Victor Sabo make too many mistakes, or else Santiago is going to be right on him. Same thing with Franchise and O'Connor here. O'Connor keeping him extremely honest. Potentially forcing Alber to slow down just a tad bit to contend with a potential defense. As he's still roughly 4 seconds behind Jake Wells. He's not improving his time anymore, but he's not lowering it. Potentially Jake Wells might have enough damage in his front end to slow him down just enough for the lap times to no longer be increasing. As this is our final lap, lap 17, as O'Connor almost makes a race-ending move there. Jonathan Kelly trying to make moves happen on Joshua Worley now as he's trying to take the inside for turn 1D90. Daniel Hirsch trying to get involved into this fight. Almost all the drivers going way wide in turn 1. It's safe to say Jake Wells is looking to have secured the P1, Albert Franchise P2, and Ross O'Connor P3. The way they've been driving consistently makes it feel this way. The battle for P5 is on though, right here. Jonathan Kelly not able to get by Joshua Worley. Joshua Worley putting on a defensive clinic. As he has 2 eager drivers ready to pounce. There's not many overtaking opportunities left. Currently, they're going to be heading into the heel. Jonathan Kelly is so eager. He wants to make that position happen. Will he do it on the outside? Or a potential switchback? An outside switchback. Congrats to Jake Wells. He gets P1. Joshua Worley into the final corner. He takes the ideal line. It's a drag race to the start finish. Joshua Worley gets P5. Daniel Hirsch. Did he get P6 and Jonathan Kelly got P7? Did we see a last minute overtake between Daniel Hirsch and Jonathan Kelly? Nonetheless, Greg Landry is claiming P9, Zach Manriquez P10. Alan Arvalo is going to be coming up very, very soon. He has P11. A couple of our drivers up in the front already finished. Jeff Kelly is 15th. Santiago 16. Unfair 17. Tarno 18. Kyle Hirsch, 19. Anthony Lombardo, 20. Alan Arvalo secures P11. Anthony Muno, P12. Victor Sabo, P13. And I believe our final driver, P14. Congrats to this guy right here, Jake Wells, for ending the win streak of Alber Tranchisi. Let me quickly... Something seems off. Something is off. Give me a moment. There we go. I should pay attention to the Twitch chat a little bit more. What's up? How do I pronounce this? Prague? Prague. What's up, DC? What's up? Is Albert winning it? Well, which Alberts are we talking about? We have two Alberts. We have Albert Tranchisi and Albert Guinea, that I'm probably butchering his last name. I'm looking at the scoring sheet, and Albert Tranchisi came in second, but ended up losing out to Ross O'Connor because he had Albert got a penalty. Albert Guinea, you have to let me know. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly? Am I just butchering it? Very bad. I am so sorry. Albert, we can show the housekeeping rules though. Or housekeeping here. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it back up here. If you check your screen here, we have in silver, in the silver class, we have Albert Guinea in P1. So he is leading his class with 75 points. Chris Unfair is right behind. Well, they're tied, but after the end of race 1 in Watkins Glen, that is no longer a tie. The G is silent. Whoa. Oh my, where is... There we go. The G is silent, so it's Albert. I'm assuming the rest of the word is correct, so Albert Hania? Wait. Interesting. Albert. My inner Latin is coming out, and I want to pronounce syllables differently. Albert Hania. Hania. You can correct me. Regardless, since you're here and you wanna view your son, he's currently in the pits. He's not allowed to go out and drive as of yet, as well as a couple of other drivers, as you'll see here. For the first 10 minutes, Group 1 is going out and running their laps, setting a quali time. After the 10 minutes are up, that's when the second group goes out and they start their quali laps. The main purpose of us doing that is to avoid any potential mishaps, any overcrowding in the track. Try to get everyone to have, how would you say this? Allow everyone to set their laps as best as possible without getting interference from anybody else. As Greg Landry goes a little bit off-road there. He has I believe it's Alan Arvalo right behind him. Not necessarily chasing him down, but it unfortunately is chasing him. Well, was chasing him down. Be interesting to see what lap times our drivers put down. Jake Wells with a fast 143.942. My god, is he flying? If you're currently joined, I guess is the right word. If you just joined us, welcome. We're currently in Watkins Glen. This is the second quali for race 2 in Watkins Glen. We're currently viewing Alber Tranchisi, seeing what lap time he puts down. Since I have you here and to kill some time, we have a couple of facts that we can just go over. Some 5FI league history in Watkins Glen. So some quick facts would be the league has held 8 previous GT3 races at Watkins Glen for a total of 1,783 total race lap between 58 different drivers. The most career starts, we have a tie of 8 between Kyle Busch and Jeff Kelly. And a multiple in the Silver League of tied. Race winners in order for the Pro League, we have Kyle Busch once again, Chandler Williams, Mike Vasquez, yours truly, Juan Lopez. I was a race winner in Watkins Glen at one point. Then we have Alber Tranchisi and Alber Tranchisi again. In the Silver League, we had David Monsu and David Monsu. Or David Monsu. The most pole positions in the Pro League is by Kyle Busch. They have 2. In the Silver, we have David Monsu with 2. The quali lap record in the Pro League is a 144.002. Today, that was smashed by Jake Wells. Regardless, the previous Pro League lap time was held by Mike Vasquez in the Ferrari 296 GT3. This was completed in Founders League Season 3, so 3 seasons ago. Currently, we're in Season 6. For the Silvers, it was David Monsu with a 154.662. He did it in a BMW M4 GT3. This was in Season 2. The most career podiums is by Kyle Busch in the Pro League. He has 4. And in silver, we're tied between David Monsu and Anthony Muno. The race lap record was held by Chandler Williams at a 144.155. I'm not sure if somebody beat that today. But Chandler did that in the Ferrari 296 GT3 Founders League Season 3. And interesting enough, the quali lap record for the Silvers was a 154.6. But the race lap record was held by Jacob Meyer, or is held by Jacob Meyer, at a 2-minute .640. Also in the BMW GT3 M4. We have 2 minutes left in the quali lap for our drivers who are currently on the field to complete their laps. The current standing is half complete. Can't really say who's going to be in P1 and whatnot. The overall length of Watkins Glen is 3.45 miles long, or 5.55 kilometers long. There are 11 corners. The preferred setup would be a high downforce with medium to hard suspension. This is the overall preferred setup, but there's a bunch of leeway depending on driver preference, driver choice, car choice, how they handle and how they prefer to drive the car, and everything is a preference. But the key action areas that we are going to be paying attention to are turns 1, the 90, the inner loop or the bus stop, turn 6, turn 7, the toe, and a chute and the toe, turn 8 labeled heel, and turn 9. Those key action areas we would be paying extra attention to as potentially our drivers are going to be making more mistakes around those key areas, or just overtaking opportunities are going to happen in those key areas. Our drivers are starting to line up as the 10-minute mark is just being hit. They are off. Our second set of drivers are off, ready to complete their quali. Take a quick minute to view Albert. I'm so used to saying the G now. The G is silent. I'm going to have to learn this pronunciation and force it to memory. Albert Hania. Hoping I'm saying that right. He's currently warming up his tires. I was going on a little off-topic tangents and whatnot, saying that I saw GT3 RS live in person, and it looks a very nice. It looks and sounds nice. Although you can't beat a classic M4, those look nice and sound nice as well. Well, if you're just joining us today, we are in Watkins, Glen. 11 corners, roughly 3.5 miles long, 3.5 kilometers long, 5.5 kilometers long. Drive a Nissan. You drive a Nissan Sentra. I think it's pretty nice. I do. Those are very nice. I wish I would. I could drive a GT3 RS or a Lamborghini Huracan. Maybe one day in the future. Race 2 is going to be starting very soon. I'm looking at the we do have our drivers lined up. It is getting dark. I wasn't quite expecting this. So a little nighttime driving. This is going to throw off our drivers 100%, as for sure they're not going to be used to, they're not going to have their tire temps set up and everything. Nonetheless, Jake Wells, P1. Alber Tranqueezy, P2. Chris Unfair, P3. Kyle Hirsch, P4. Chris Unfair jumped the ranks. He got way faster. Now Daniel Hirsch, P5. If I miss Kyle Hirsch, he's in P4. Kyle Hirsch P4, Daniel Hirsch P5. Joshua Worley, P6. Zach Manriquez, P7. Q-Man, got pushed down. He was in P7. Zach barely beat him. He's currently in P8. Jeff Kelly, the camera work is... that was weird. Well, Jeff Kelly is, that is behind the pink, GT3 RS there. The pink Porsche. P9. Alexander Sabo, P10. Ross O'Connor, P11. Jonathan Kelly, P12. Greg Landry, P13. Brad Tarno, P14. Alan Arvalo, 15. Justin Fry, 16. Anthony Muno, 17. Victor Sabo, 18. And Alberto Santiago, 19. The race is about to start. The green light is out. The Spotify music is gone. Here's what Jake Wells turns on his lights at the last minute. And hopefully no issues occur heading into the inner loop. As we have a bird's eye view of all the potential carnage to be. It's Chris Unfair and Kyle Hirsch get into a tussle, and a cluster of carnage is laid bare. More Zach Manriquez involved into another incident as the race continues. Our steward for tonight is going to have his hands full. As the grid is got shaken up to the extreme. Alber Tranquisi is keeping up right next to Jake Wells. The battle for P1 is raging on. Right behind them is no one else. They got involved into the carnage over there, and everyone else pretty much got left behind. So this just leaves Albert Tranquisi and Jake Wells. As we have plenty of battles to view on screen, and not enough screens or cameras to view them all at once. Currently viewing Brad Tarno as he's smack dab in the center of the battles going on between Q-Man and Daniel Hirsch. Heading into the inner loop. Daniel Hirsch making a big mistake. This allows Q-Man to go through, and Brad Tarno. A very nice move by both of them to seize the opportunity and get on by. Santiago trying to make moves happen on Muno. We'll let this battle simmer up as Brad Tarno now trying to get very, very close to Q-Man up in front. Albert G. It's currently Albert Tranquisi is in P2. Q-Man is in P7. Doing very, very good for himself as who do we have off on the field or going off and pitting? We have Jeff Kelly and Kyle Hirsch. They must have taken some serious amount of damage. But nonetheless, Q-Man is pulling away from Brad Tarno. He's going to he's trying to get away from him and trying to catch up to the driver in front, Greg Landry. It'll be interesting to see when and where he manages to get up in front and catch these two drivers off guard. Albert Santiago makes moves happen against Anthony Muno coming into the inner loop, into the bus stop. It's Chris Unfair has a yellow flag of him. Oh. We can we'll take a couple seconds to review what happened to Chris Unfair. He's currently in the back straight. It's Kyle Hirsch, I believe it's Kyle Hirsch, right behind Chris. Both hard on the brakes. The bump just upset his vehicle, and he smashed into the wall aggressively. Ah, huge damage just from that, unfortunately. Like, we're back into the live view. His lights are flickering. He's going to be forced to pit very, very soon, as Zach Manriquez passes him pretty easily because of all the damage he sustained, unfortunately. Uh Jumping back though, Q-Man is in a fight for P6 and P5 with Alan Arvalo and Greg Landry. He's caught up fairly quick, and he's going to try to make moves into the inner loop. Alan on the outside, Q-Man on the inside. He manages to hold on and not let the off-road excursion there upset the balance of his car and send him to the pits. Questionable clean overtake there. That oh my, that Allen almost made even worse. Arvalo, it just a tad bit going too hard on the brakes. What a move though by Alber, by Q-Man here, sticking it on the inside of a very difficult section of the track, of the inner loop. He currently has a train behind him. And he's doing very, very well for... Oh, Greg Landry is going to try to make moves happen against Alan Arvalo into turn 1 D90. He's on the inside. Alan, unfortunately, is on the outside for the remainder of these corners. Oh, he tried to make a move happen, or he tried to get a switchback to happen on the inside. He ended up bumping into Greg Landry, giving him a boost. Heading into the inner loop. This infighting, though, is allowing... As Alan goes way wide, is he going to be able to control the vehicle? Brad Tarno is going to seize the opportunity to secure that position. Alan forced to drop to P8. Brad Tarno in P7 now. But as I was saying, all this infighting is allowing Q-Man here to get away. It's looking like he's about to secure. He's looking to be able to finish P5, barring any other mistakes or any other issues happening. As DC says, some of these drivers need to be more careful. I do believe you are right. Good sir. Potentially, does he have his lights off? No, they're on. Okay. They just look so dim. Wait, I think they are off. Who is this? This is Anthony Muno and Victor Sabo. Both have their lights off. Maybe this is why they're getting into accidents. They're not able to fully see the road clearly enough. I was gonna ask Jeff Kelly makes a move happen on Anthony Muno. Where is Jeff Kelly though? Oh, he's P18, so this wasn't a battle for position, but he is trying to unlap himself. So jumping through the grid to get better angles on what's going on. I lost my train of thought, but Joshua Worley is getting very, very close to Alexander Sabo. The battle for P15 is reaching its boiling point. Oh, off topic. Nighttime driving. I know I have a problem with this where my pace in the night ends up slowing down considerably. Will he make a move happen? Oh, this is Alber Tranchisi up in the front, actually. He's so far behind Jake Wells. I wonder what happened. He was very, very close to Jake Wells in the beginning. He must have had some sort of serious issue in the somewhere along the track. As my God, does that what kind of suspension does he have on that vehicle that was just absorbing those bumps? And didn't even phase that car. Anthony Muno is trying to get close to Victor Sabo. Both drivers still with their lights off. Maybe maybe they're using echolocation to navigate the track. This is why they have their lights off. They're trying to be as stealthy as possible. I don't want to move from these two. Joshua Worley is also getting close to Alexander Sabo. We're going to momentarily jump between both these drivers. We're gonna jump back and forth and see what happens and if we can catch any good moments. Joshua Worley and Alexander Sabo are completing the 90. They're heading into the back straight, approaching the inner loop. Victor Sabo and Anthony Muno are approaching turn 10. They're going to approach the final corner. Starts a new lap. Joshua Worley far behind, dropping back a lot. Ross O'Connor is battling it out with Jonathan Kelly, who is fighting for P3. This is fighting for the podium right here. Jonathan Kelly on the inside. Ross O'Connor forced to take the outside line. Jonathan Kelly still remaining on the inside. He is not letting up. He's trying to force Ross O'Connor to overtake him on the outside. Ross, unfortunately, not able to have the speed and momentum to do that. How long can John hold out? It's the real question. He's for 100% for sure feeling the heat that O'Connor is dishing out. They head into the 90 turn 1. They're approaching the S's. And then the back straight. This can be Ross O'Connor's opportunity to get by. They are in similar vehicles, so he won't have the sheer power to overtake him that easily. As they end up getting into contact. Brilliant move by O'Connor nonetheless. Sneaking by and What is going on? Um, so I'm not quite sure why that is happening. That's the third or fourth time where the screen or the whole track on my end ends up glitching out. We unfortunately miss the overtake again between Jonathan Kelly and Ross O'Connor. Ross O'Connor flashing Jonathan Kelly, displeased with how hard he's having to fight for P3. Fortunately for us, we are not displeased. We are 100% enjoying this. If they keep battling it out though this aggressively, this is going to allow Human to catch up and turn this battle upside down, potentially making it a three-way battle for P3. He's not too far behind. He's, as you see there, he's right off into the distance. So if this battle keeps going on and both these drivers are forced to slow down because of that, it's good news for Q-Man. He'll catch up as he has a yellow flag under his name. The streamer's curse is alive and well. What ended up happening, I'm not entirely too sure, and I don't want to review as he might be getting to a potential battle with Greg Landry, who's right behind him. Jeff Kelly still having to contend against O'Connor. Jonathan Kelly, sorry. It's Jonathan Kelly pulling all the defensive stops, forcing Ross O'Connor to stick right behind him, not giving him any opportunity to pass, making it very, very difficult to get around him. As he has it done. He has the inside for turn one for the 90. How will Jonathan Kelly outmaneuver him as they're both hard on the brakes? They're side by side. There is no way. Jonathan Kelly is still fighting for P3. Ross O'Connor still not securing this spot. Both of them still side by side. Heading into the back straight, Jonathan Kelly falls behind. Not too sure if he's going to try to make a move happen for... No, he backs out. He backs out just in time before the inner loop, before the bus stop. Before Carnage takes over. And nonetheless, though, if you were paying attention to the screen, Jake Wells had a yellow flag under his name. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened, but Albert Tranchisi used that opportunity to get in front of him. Jake Wells now in P2. Will Albert secure another win? There are 11 minutes left in the race. Only time will tell. As a bunch of our drivers are starting to split up, Human still forced to keep on his toes, to stay on his toes against Greg Landry, who's right behind him. He has just a little bit of damage, so the yellow flag that he sustained, that was waved toward him, was caused to or was waved for a good reason. He does have a little bit of damage there. Will Albert Tranchisi go on the defense for the inner loop? He does not. They stay what's the word? They stay on the racing line. Albert looking like he's going half and half on being defensive and being offensive as he makes a tiny bit of a mistake there. Jake Wells has the better exit. Jake Wells has a slide. Has a doesn't have a great exit off there, but he doesn't lose too much time. Alber still within an arm's reach of him. Forcing Alber to stay honest, to not make many mistakes. As it's getting darker and darker, I am starting to wonder how this how the evening is affecting the vision of our drivers. Will their vision be clouded or muddled or lost due to the darkness? As these two were fighting it out, Ross O'Connor managed to get by Jonathan Kelly. Jonathan Kelly, though, still very, very close to O'Connor. Zach Manriquez is getting very, very close to Anthony Munoz. So many battles happening concurrently. I'm not quite sure who to actually switch between or switch to, as Jake Wells tries to overtake from the outside. He potentially try to get the inside happening. Albert Tranchisi on the defensive 100%. He's pulling all the stops, forcing Jake Wells to overtake him on the outside, not giving him any easy opportunities to overtake. Both hard on the brakes. Albert just a tad bit wide. Jake Wells makes the move happen. A good move on Jake Wells. Unfortunately for Albert Tranchisi, he's given the clean air back to Jake Wells. Nonetheless, though, Jake Wells already made one big mistake, and it's with the added pressure of Albert Tranchisi right behind him and the ensuing darkness engulfing both of them. Another potential mistake could happen in the near future. As both drivers are heading into the back straight, or currently are in the back straight, they're going to be heading into the bus stop. Bertrand Casey losing a little bit of speed onto the bus stop. Not Jonathan Kelly, though. He is less than a tenth of O'Connor's rear. Oh my. They're both hard on the brakes. Into shoot. Jonathan Kelly is pulling all the stops to take back the podium, the P3 spot. Zach Manriquez forced to go on the defensive against Alberto Santiago. Into the bus stop, both these two go. Alberto, oh, very wide, ends up clipping the wall, unfortunately. He's going to be forced to go around all that or just head to the pits. That was a good move or a good attempt regardless. Just couldn't stick it well enough. As Jonathan Kelly wall rights just a tad bit. O'Connor doing his absolute best to keep Jonathan Kelly behind him does not want to give him an opportunity to get around him, as both of these two are pretty darn close. They're nearly identical in terms of pace. Both their last laps were in the 146.3s. O'Connor is what is this, 200ths faster than Jonathan Kelly last lap, and 9 thousandths faster in overall best lap. That's how close both of these drivers are in terms of pace. Alber though, he's losing a little bit of pace, a little bit of momentum. He's still within an arm's reach of Jake Wells, keeping him honest, making sure he doesn't make many mistakes. Only time will tell to see what will actually happen, especially as they're approaching lap traffic. How will he get around? Oh, he got around him fairly easily. Most likely Albert is going to follow suit, potentially. Albert now goes around him. The damage might have been done though. He lost about a second off that exchange. Somehow, somewhere, Jonathan Kelly lost a lot of time to Ross O'Connor. Went from being right behind him to 2 seconds, and Alan Arvalo has a repair flag, or he's going to be forced to enter the pits very soon. Oh, he's badly damaged. Chris Unfair trying to get around. I think that's Chris Unfair. No, Kyle Hirsch. Kyle Hirsch trying to get around Alan Arvalo. To be honest, if Alan could just hold on, he can secure P8. I'm not sure if the track marshals will be, what's the word? I don't even know if that'll be allowed, depending on how badly damaged his vehicle is. Nonetheless, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left into the race. The only closest battle that we have right now is between Justin Fry and Joshua Worley. It's looking like everyone is settling into their current positions, barring any other mistakes. Jonathan Kelly getting around lap traffic. Still roughly 2.5 seconds behind O'Connor, so whatever mistake he had for sure cost him the podium spot, unfortunately. Human though, having a really good race, avoiding all of the carnage. I mean, one incident of his own, but not damaging the car too bad. Barring any other mistakes, he looks to have secured P5. As you might have heard, the leader is on the final lap. Albert Tranchisi is now 3 seconds behind him. It's not looking great. Jake Wells looking to have dominate. Not outright, but very strongly dominate Watkins Glen, both in the daytime and in the nighttime. Wasn't Alan Arvalo fighting with somebody? There's no one around him now. And he still has what is that? A black flag, I guess, as what I would call it. The track marshals are forcing him or trying to warn him to go to the pits for repairs, and he's just not having it. He's trying to secure his position. This is the final lap. This is the last lap of the race, so he's looking to secure P8, which would be a really good spot to be in, especially points-wise. He can climb the ranks very quickly with that. Daniel Hirsch fighting it out with Victor Sabo. Congratulations to Jake Wells, who got P2. I mean P1. I guess I owe you $1 now. Nonetheless, Daniel Hirsch is got by Victor Sabo. Victor Sabo slowing down a lot. Daniel Hirsch now having the open air, can really put his head to put his head down and get away, run away with this. Currently in P11, Victor Sabo in P12. Anthony Muno securing P10. Having a little bit of a victory slide there. I see or hear drivers doing donuts somewhere. Not quite sure where the donuts are. I want to find them. We still have one driver left. Oh, I believe it's Chris Unfair who is in the pits. We might have to wait the timeout for until Chris can cross the start finish line. Not too sure. And DC says good race, but you should see Q-Man in his cart. He's a master. These toasters can never take him out on a real track. He does go-karting in the real life? No, that is actually very, very cool. That's something that I want to get into. It looks like a lot of fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. And for sure, if he does it, I would never get close to anywhere near his pace. Well, we are forced to wait out the time. Congratulations to Jake Wells here for securing P1. There we go. That is what we needed. His dream is to drive for Mercedes one day, just like Lewis. That would be amazing. If that happens, secure us all a couple of backstage passes. I want him to sign my hat. Nonetheless, thank you for sticking around. This was Watkins Glen Race 3. Before we leave, I shall go ahead and introduce you to the 5fi-racing.com website. That's 5, the number 5, fi-racing.com. If you'd like to join us for our next race or just chat with us, you can go on Discord here. But joining us, you click on SimGrid, the SG. We're currently on Season 6. And you hit register. We have 1 spot in gold and 4 spots in silver. Next race is looking to be Bathurst, and it's going to be 60 minutes, a 60-minute sprint. So if you like the mountain panorama, be sure to tune in next week. In the meantime, though, if you can't get enough of us, be sure to tune in next week as for the GT4s, we are headed to Monza. I'm actually in this race, so I won't be streaming, but the person, Alber who got P2 last race, he is streaming. So be sure to tune in for that. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing night or amazing rest of your day. And I hope to see you soon. Had a bunch of good battles today. Interesting to see a shift from daylight to nighttime. So that's always fun to see. I'll see you guys next week. Or Tuesday if you come and stop by in Monza. Have a good night.